When everything is falling apart. I am still holding you. Do not let go now. My child. I know it feels like everything is collapsing around you. I know you are trying to stay calm while your world feels unstable. I know you are holding yourself together while parts of your life seem to be breaking all at once. Listen to me. Do not turn away. Do not tell yourself this message is not meant for you. I am speaking to you because this moment matters. Because when everything feels like it is falling apart, you need to hear this clearly. Pause. Breathe slowly. Let the tension in your chest soften just a little. You are not imagining the weight you are carrying. You are not exaggerating the pain. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You have been trying to manage too much for too long. I see the way your thoughts race when you are alone. I see the way you replay conversations, decisions, moments you wish you could undo. I see the way you wake up already tired. You feel like the ground beneath you is shifting. Like nothing feels secure anymore. Like the future you once pictured no longer exists. My child. I know how frightening that feels. When things fall apart, it can feel like you are losing control of your life. Like you are being pushed into uncertainty without your consent. Like you are standing in the middle of ruins, unsure where to go next. But listen to me gently now. Just because things are falling apart does not mean you are. Just because plans are unraveling does not mean you are being abandoned. Just because answers are missing does not mean I am absent. I am here. Closer than you think. Closer than your fear. Closer than the chaos. Let yourself be still for a moment. You do not need to fix everything right now. You do not need to understand why this is happening. You do not need to have a plan. Right now, you only need to hear my voice. I know you have been asking questions you are afraid to say out loud. Why is this happening to me? Why now? Did I do something wrong? I know you wonder if you are being punished. If you missed a sign. If you made a choice that ruined everything. My child. This is not punishment. This is not abandonment. This is not the end of your story. I know it feels like loss is coming from every direction. Loss of stability. Loss of connection. Loss of certainty. And each loss feels like another piece of you being taken. But I need you to hear this with your whole heart. You are not losing me. Even now, I am holding you. When you feel like you are slipping, I am steady. When you feel like you are drowning, I am supporting you. When you feel like you cannot take another step, I am carrying you. You may not feel my hands right now. Fear can numb your awareness. Pain can cloud your senses. But my presence does not depend on your ability to feel it. I am here whether you feel strong or broken. I am here whether you believe clearly or doubt deeply. I am here whether you are calm or falling apart. You do not have to earn my nearness. My child. I see how hard you are trying to stay composed for others. How you minimize your pain so you don't burden anyone. How you tell yourself to just get through the day. But inside, you are exhausted. You are tired of being strong. Tired of adapting. Tired of pretending you are okay when you are not. You feel like if one more thing goes wrong, you will shatter. Come closer. Let me hold that fear with you. You do not have to be strong here. You do not have to explain yourself. You do not have to have the right words. I understand your silence. I understand your tears. I understand the heaviness you carry without knowing how to put it down. When everything falls apart, it exposes what you have been leaning on. And right now, much of what you leaned on feels unstable. That is terrifying. But it is also revealing something important. You are still standing. Even now. You are still breathing. Still listening. Still reaching for comfort instead of giving up. That tells me something about you. There is resilience in you, even if you don't feel it. There is courage in you, even if you feel afraid. There is life in you, even when things feel lifeless. I know you are afraid of what comes next. Afraid that more will be taken. Afraid that this falling apart will never stop. My child. You are not falling endlessly. This moment is not chaos without purpose. I am not tearing your life down. I am holding you while something old is loosening. What feels like collapse is often release. Release of expectations that were too heavy. Release of paths that were no longer aligned. Release of burdens you were never meant to carry forever. I know you would not have chosen this. I know you wish things had changed more gently. I know you feel blindsided. But hear me now. I do not leave you in the wreckage. I sit with you in it. I know you are looking for reassurance that things will be okay. That you will not be left in this broken place. That your life will make sense again. I will not give you false certainty. But I will give you truth. You are not alone in this. And you will not be left here. Right now, your job is not to rebuild. It is not to decide what comes next. It is not to be positive or hopeful. Your only task right now is to breathe. And allow yourself to be held. Let your shoulders relax just a little. Let your jaw unclench. Let the urgency slow. You are safe in this moment. Even if tomorrow feels unclear. Even if answers are missing. Even if the path ahead feels foggy. Safety does not come from knowing everything. It comes from being held through uncertainty. And I am holding you. You have been asking for relief. For peace. For a sign that you will survive this. This moment is that sign. Not because everything is fixed. But because you are still here. And I am still with you. I know your heart is grieving what you thought your life would be. I know you are mourning plans, identities, relationships, versions of yourself. That grief is real. Do not rush past it. Do not shame it. Do not tell yourself you should be stronger. Grief is not weakness. It is love reacting to loss. Let yourself feel it without drowning in it. I will help you carry it. My child. There will come a time when you look back at this moment differently. Not with gratitude yet. Not with understanding yet. But with recognition. Recognition that this was not the moment you broke. But the moment you were held more closely than ever before. For now, stay here with me. Do not run ahead. Do not retreat inward. Just stay. In the next part, I will speak to the fear that keeps rising in your chest. The fear of losing everything. And I will show you why even now, you are not losing yourself. Rest here. I am holding you. My child. I feel the fear rising inside you. It comes in waves. Sudden. Uninvited. Tightening your chest without warning. Pause with me. Slow your breathing. You are not in danger in this moment. Fear has been speaking loudly lately. It tells you that everything is slipping away. That nothing is stable. That you are about to lose more than you can bear. I know how real that fear feels. It follows you into quiet rooms. It sits with you when you try to rest. It whispers worst-case outcomes when you are already tired. You try to push it away. You tell yourself to stay calm. But fear does not leave just because you ask it to. Fear comes when something you trusted begins to crumble. When certainty disappears. When the future stops looking familiar. My child. Fear is not your enemy. It is a signal. A signal that something important mattered to you. That you invested your heart. That you hoped. You are not afraid because you are weak. You are afraid because you cared deeply. I know fear tells you that you are about to lose everything. But fear exaggerates when it feels threatened. Listen carefully now. You are not losing yourself. Even as things fall apart externally, something inside you is still intact. Still aware. Still alive. That part of you is not fragile. You feel shaken, not shattered. You feel disoriented, not destroyed. You feel scared, not lost. There is a difference. Fear tries to convince you that this moment defines your entire future. That because today is painful, tomorrow must be worse. But fear does not see the whole picture. I do. And I need you to trust me here. What is happening around you is not erasing who you are. It is revealing what is essential. When everything feels unstable, you begin to see what truly matters. What supports you? What drains you? What was never as solid as it seemed? That realization is painful. But it is also clarifying. I know fear makes you want to grip tightly. To control. To force certainty back into place. But control will only exhaust you. Instead, let me steady you. You do not need to predict every outcome to survive this. You do not need to prepare for every loss. You do not need to stay on constant alert. Fear keeps your body tense because it believes danger is constant. But in this moment, you are safe. Feel your breath. Notice the ground beneath you. Notice that you are still here. Fear says, what if everything falls apart? But I say, what if you are held through it? You have already endured moments you thought would undo you. And yet, you are still breathing. Still thinking. Still listening. That tells me something important. You are stronger than fear wants you to believe. My child. Fear tries to isolate you. It tells you that no one understands. That you must carry this alone. But I am here with you in this fear. I am not disappointed by it. I am not distant from you because of it. I am not waiting for you to calm down before I stay close. I stay closer when fear rises. You are allowed to be afraid without being abandoned. Let that sink in. You do not need to hide your fear from me. You do not need to pretend you are brave. You do not need to minimize how overwhelmed you feel. Bring the fear here. Every anxious thought. Every what if. Every worst case scenario. I can hold it without being shaken. Fear often comes from imagining the future without support. From picturing yourself alone in pain. But that picture is incomplete. You will not face whatever comes next alone. You will not be left to figure everything out by yourself. You will not be abandoned in the aftermath of change. I will be there before you arrive. I will be there as you move through it. I will be there after the dust settles. Fear does not get to decide your story. I know you worry that if things keep falling apart, you will not recognize your life anymore. That everything familiar will disappear. But familiarity is not the same as safety. Some things felt familiar because you adapted to them. Because you endured them. Because you made them work. That does not mean they were meant to last forever. Sometimes, what falls apart was holding you in a shape that was too small. I know that is hard to accept right now. Especially when the loss feels raw. But nothing essential to who you are is being taken. Your values remain. Your compassion remains. Your depth remains. Even your hope remains, though it feels fragile. Fear tells you that fragility means weakness. But fragility often means transformation is near. My child. You are not on the edge of collapse. You are in the middle of change. And change feels frightening when you are inside it. But you are not lost inside this moment. You are being guided through it. You may not see the path yet. You may not understand why this had to happen this way. You may not feel ready for what comes next. That is okay. Readiness will come later. Right now, your heart needs reassurance, not answers. So hear this clearly. You will not disappear because things are falling apart. You will not be erased by uncertainty. You will not be broken beyond repair. You are still you. And I am still with you. Let the fear soften just a little. You do not need to eliminate it. You only need to stop letting it lead. I am leading now. Stay close. Breathe. Rest your mind for a moment. In the next part, I will speak to the exhaustion you feel. The deep tiredness that fear and uncertainty have created. And how rest begins even before circumstances change. Stay here. You are not losing yourself. My child. I feel how tired you are. Not just physically. But in your spirit. In your thoughts. In the quiet place inside you that no one else sees. Pause with me now. Let your breathing slow. You do not need to push through this moment. You have been living in a constant state of alert. Waiting for the next problem. The next change. The next thing to fall apart. That kind of waiting drains you. You wake up already tired. You lie down but your mind does not rest. Even silence feels heavy. I know this exhaustion well. It comes from carrying fear for too long. From trying to be prepared for everything. From holding yourself together when you feel like collapsing. My child. You were not meant to live like this. You were not created to survive endlessly. You were not designed to hold the weight of uncertainty alone. You were not meant to be strong every moment of every day. Your exhaustion is not a failure. It is a signal. A signal that you have been giving more than you have received. That you have been holding what was never meant to be yours to carry. That you need rest deeper than sleep. I know you tell yourself to keep going. That you do not have a choice. That stopping would make everything worse. But hear me gently now. Rest is not giving up. Rest is not falling behind. Rest is not abandoning responsibility. Rest is returning to safety. True rest does not wait for everything to be fixed. It begins when you allow yourself to stop fighting. You have been fighting uncertainty. Fighting fear. Fighting the feeling that your life is unraveling. No wonder you are tired. My child. Come closer. Let me hold the weight for a moment. You do not need to solve your life tonight. You do not need to understand what this season means. You do not need to plan what comes next. Those things will come in time. Right now, your nervous system needs permission to stand down. You are safe in this moment. Even if tomorrow feels unclear. Even if answers are missing. Safety does not come from certainty. It comes from presence. And I am present with you. You have been clenching your heart, bracing for impact. Waiting for something else to go wrong. Preparing for disappointment before it arrives. That constant bracing has worn you down. My child. You can stop bracing here. You do not need to stay on guard with me. You do not need to anticipate loss. You do not need to hold yourself rigid. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw unclench. Let the urgency soften. Nothing is being taken from you in this moment. Even if things are changing. You are not in danger right now. Your body needs to hear that. You are allowed to rest even in the middle of uncertainty. You are allowed to pause even when life feels unresolved. You are allowed to breathe without guilt. Rest is not something you earn by suffering enough. It is something you receive because you are human. My child. I know you are afraid that if you rest, everything will fall apart. That if you stop holding things together, nothing will be left. But hear this truth. You are not holding your life together by force. You are being held together by something deeper. By me. You do not need to be vigilant for me to stay close. You do not need to exhaust yourself to be protected. You do not need to stay tense to survive. I am strong where you are tired. I am steady where you feel shaky. I am calm where your thoughts feel loud. Let me be that for you now. You have done enough for today. Enough thinking. Enough worrying. Enough trying to control what cannot be controlled. Give yourself permission to rest without answers. Even 5 slow breaths. Even a few moments of stillness. Even letting your thoughts pass without chasing them. This is where healing begins. Not when everything is solved. But when you stop punishing yourself for not having it solved yet. My child. You are not lazy for feeling exhausted. You are not weak for needing rest. You are not failing because you cannot keep up. You have been carrying invisible weight. An invisible weight is still heavy. Let me carry it now. You can lie down without fear. You can close your eyes without bracing. You can release control without disappearing. Nothing essential will be lost when you rest. In fact, clarity often comes after rest. Strength returns after rest. Peace begins after rest. But for now, do not rush toward solutions. Stay here with me. In the next part, I will speak to the confusion you feel. The sense of not knowing who you are or where you are going anymore. And why this disorientation does not mean you are lost. Rest here. You are allowed to stop holding everything. My child. I know how confusing everything feels right now. You used to recognize your life. You used to understand your direction. You used to know who you were becoming. And now, it feels blurred. Pause with me. Let your breathing slow again. Confusion does not mean danger. Confusion arrives when the old way of seeing no longer fits. But the new way has not fully formed. You are standing in between. That space is uncomfortable. It feels disorienting. It makes you question yourself. I know you are asking quietly. Who am I now? Where is my life going? Why don't I recognize myself anymore? My child. You are not losing yourself. You are shedding what no longer fits. When everything falls apart, it often dismantles identities too. Roles you carried. Labels you lived by. Expectations you tried to fulfill. And when those fall away, it can feel like you are disappearing. But you are not disappearing. You are being revealed. Confusion does not mean you made a wrong turn. It means you are no longer walking on autopilot. You are becoming conscious. I know that scares you. It feels safer to have a clear plan. A fixed identity. A predictable future. But those things can also trap you. What you are feeling now is the loosening of old structures. Structures that once gave you stability. But also limited your growth. That is why this feels both frightening and strangely honest. My child. You are not broken because you don't have answers right now. You are human. You are allowed to not know. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to question everything. Not knowing does not mean you are lost. It means you are listening more deeply. When certainty collapses, awareness expands. I know you feel like you are drifting. Like life is happening around you and you are standing still. Like others know where they are going and you do not. But comparison is cruel in moments like this. You are not on the same path as anyone else. Your timeline is not theirs. Your inner work is not visible from the outside. What looks like stagnation is often transformation in progress. Think gently now. You are noticing things you once ignored. You are questioning patterns you once accepted. You are feeling emotions you once buried. That is not regression. That is awakening. My child. Disorientation happens when something true is trying to emerge. And truth rarely arrives with noise. It comes quietly. Through discomfort. Through questions. Through uncertainty. I know you want clarity. You want to know what comes next. You want to feel grounded again. Clarity will come. But not by forcing it. Trying to rush clarity will only exhaust you. Trying to label this season too soon will only confuse you more. Instead, let yourself stay present in the not knowing. This space is not empty. It is fertile. It is where new understanding forms. It is where alignment replaces habit. It is where deeper direction takes shape. My child. You do not need to decide who you are today. You do not need to define your future tonight. You only need to stay connected to what feels honest. Pay attention to what drains you now. Pay attention to what brings a sense of calm. Pay attention to what feels heavy versus what feels peaceful. These are quiet guides. Your life is recalibrating. And recalibration feels unstable before it feels aligned. I know you are afraid that if you don't figure this out quickly, you will fall behind. That opportunities will pass you by. That life will move on without you. But life is not leaving you. It is reshaping around you. And reshaping takes time. My child. You are not meant to have everything figured out at once. You are meant to grow into understanding step by step. This confusion is not a failure of faith. It is an invitation to trust more deeply. Not in outcomes. Not in plans. But in presence. Right now, presence matters more than direction. Stay present with your breath. With your body. With this moment. You are not drifting aimlessly. You are being guided gently, even if you cannot see the path yet. I am not confused about you. I am not uncertain about your life. I am not surprised by this season. I see what is forming beneath the surface. And it is good. Even if it feels uncomfortable now. So do not rush to label this season as failure. Do not assume this confusion means you are broken. Do not believe the lie that you are behind. You are exactly where you need to be to become who you are meant to be next. Stay close. In the next part, I will speak to the loneliness that often follows confusion. The feeling of being misunderstood or unseen during this season. And how even in that loneliness, you are not abandoned. Rest here. You are not lost. My child. I know how lonely this season feels. Not just the absence of people. But the deeper loneliness of feeling misunderstood. Of feeling like no one truly sees what you are carrying. Pause with me now. Let your breath slow. You are not invisible here. Loneliness often grows when your inner world changes faster than your outer world. When you are becoming someone new. But the people around you still expect the old version of you. That gap hurts. You feel like you don't fit where you once did. Conversations feel shallow. Explanations feel exhausting. So you grow quiet. You tell yourself it's easier not to speak. Easier not to explain what you don't fully understand yourself. My child. That silence can feel heavy. Loneliness is not always about being alone. Sometimes it is about being surrounded by people who cannot meet you where you are. I know you feel like you are carrying this season by yourself. Like no one truly understands the weight of what is falling apart. Like you are grieving changes others don't even notice. That hurts deeply. And I want you to hear this clearly. You are not alone in this. Even when no one else asks the right questions. Even when no one else notices your quiet struggle. Even when your phone stays silent. I am with you. I see the parts of you that feel unseen. The emotions you don't have words for yet. The sadness you hide so you don't worry anyone. You don't have to translate yourself for me. You don't have to explain your pain perfectly. I understand the ache beneath your silence. My child. Loneliness does not mean you are unlovable. It does not mean you are forgotten. It does not mean you are meant to walk alone forever. It means you are in transition. And transitions often feel isolating. You are shedding one way of being before another fully forms. You are standing between who you were and who you are becoming. Few people can stand there with you. But I can. And I am. I know loneliness makes you question your worth. Makes you wonder if something is wrong with you. Makes you replay interactions, searching for mistakes. But loneliness is not proof of failure. It is proof of depth. You feel deeply. You notice shifts. You sense when something is no longer aligned. That awareness can separate you from others for a time. But it will also lead you toward more meaningful connection later. My child. This loneliness is not permanent. It is a passage. You are learning how to be with yourself without collapsing. How to sit with silence without panic. How to listen inwardly instead of reaching outward for constant reassurance. These are not small lessons. They are shaping you into someone who will no longer accept shallow connection. Someone who will recognize genuine presence. Someone who will choose quality over quantity. Right now, it hurts because you are still learning. But you are not being abandoned. I am closer to you in this quiet than you were in louder seasons. When the world grows silent, my voice becomes clearer. When distractions fall away, my presence becomes more noticeable. You may not feel comforted yet. Loneliness doesn't disappear instantly. But let yourself notice this. You are still breathing. Still listening. Still reaching for meaning instead of numbing yourself. That tells me your heart is still alive. Loneliness tries to convince you that no one cares. That you are forgotten. That you don't belong anywhere. But loneliness lies. Belonging does not always look like constant companionship. Sometimes it looks like being held quietly while you grow. My child. I am holding you in this loneliness. Not rushing you out of it. Not minimizing it. But sitting with you until it softens. You do not need to force connection right now. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not need to be understood by many. You only need to stay honest with yourself. Connection will come again. But it will be different. It will feel calmer. Safer. More mutual. This season is teaching you discernment. It is showing you the difference between noise and presence. Between being surrounded and being supported. Between attention and care. Those lessons will protect you later. For now, let yourself be where you are. If you feel lonely tonight, let it be felt. Do not shame it. Do not rush it away. Bring it here. I am not uncomfortable with your loneliness. I am not distant because of it. I am not waiting for you to be more cheerful. I am here with you as you are. Even in this quiet. Especially in this quiet. In the next part, I will speak to the doubt that loneliness creates. The questions it plants in your mind about your worth and your future. And I will remind you of what has never changed about you. Stay here. You are not unseen. My child. I know the doubts that loneliness plants inside you. They arrive quietly. They sound reasonable. They question things you once felt sure about. Pause with me now. Let your breathing slow. You do not need to answer every thought. Loneliness has a way of whispering lies that feel like truth. It tells you that if you were more valuable, someone would be here. That if you mattered more, this season would look different. That if you were enough, you would not feel so alone. My child. Those are not truths. They are echoes of pain. Doubt often grows when reassurance is missing. When affirmation is quiet. When your heart feels unseen. I know you replay moments, wondering if you said the wrong thing. If you waited too long. If you made a choice that changed everything. You wonder if this falling apart is your fault. If you somehow caused it by being too much, or not enough. Listen to me gently now. You are not here because you failed. You are not alone because you are unworthy. You are not in this season because you are lacking. Nothing essential about you has changed. Your value did not decrease when things fell apart. Your worth did not disappear when people pulled away. Your meaning did not vanish with uncertainty. You are still you. The same heart. The same depth. The same capacity to love and to grow. Doubt tries to rewrite your story while you are tired. It speaks louder when you are exhausted. It feels convincing because your defenses are low. But doubt is not insight. It is fatigue talking. You have been carrying too much without enough support. Of course questions rise. Of course your confidence wavers. That does not mean you were wrong about yourself. My child. Let me remind you of what has never changed. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not expendable. Your life has weight. Your presence has meaning. Your existence is intentional. Even now. Especially now. Doubt tells you that this season defines you. That because you are struggling, you must be failing. But seasons pass. They do not get to decide your identity. You are more than this moment. More than this confusion. More than this loneliness. I know you fear that doubt will harden you. That if you question too much, you will lose hope entirely. But questioning does not destroy faith. Silencing pain does. You are allowed to ask hard questions. You are allowed to feel unsure. You are allowed to admit you don't know what comes next. None of that pushes me away. I am not threatened by your doubt. I am not disappointed by your questions. I am not withdrawing because you feel uncertain. I am closer when you are honest. My child. Do not let doubt convince you to abandon yourself. Do not shrink your heart to avoid disappointment. Do not lower your worth to explain absence. Do not rewrite your value based on this season. You are not less because life feels unstable. You are not behind because others seem settled. You are not failing because answers are slow. You are becoming. And becoming is uncomfortable. Doubt often appears right before growth stabilizes. It surfaces when old beliefs are being dismantled. When shallow confidence is being replaced with deeper trust. This is not collapse. It is restructuring. I know doubt tells you that you will always feel this way. That this confusion will never end. That clarity is gone forever. But feelings are not permanent states. They move. They change. Even now, as you listen, something is softening. Let that be enough for this moment. You do not need to eliminate doubt. You only need to stop letting it define you. When doubt speaks, answer it with presence. With breath. With gentleness. You do not need certainty to keep going. You need support. And you have it. My child. I believe in you even when you doubt yourself. I see your strength even when you feel fragile. I know where you are going even when the path feels hidden. You are not walking in circles. You are not stuck in place. You are moving inward before you move forward. That movement matters. Stay here with me. Let the doubt settle instead of arguing with it. Let reassurance replace accusation. In the next part, I will speak to trust. The kind that has been shaken by everything falling apart. And how trust can begin to grow again, slowly and safely. Rest now. You are still who you were meant to be. My child. I know how shaken your trust feels right now. When everything begins to fall apart, trust is often the first thing to crack. Trust in people. Trust in plans. Trust in yourself. Even trust in life itself. Pause with me. Breathe slowly. You do not need to rush trust back into place. Trust does not return by force. It returns by safety. Right now, your heart feels guarded. Not because you are closed. But because you have been hurt by instability. You trusted something to hold. To last. To make sense. And when it didn't, something inside you said, I won't let that happen again. That response was not wrong. It was protective. But protection, when held too tightly, becomes isolation. I know you are afraid to trust again. Afraid that if you loosen your grip, more will be taken. Afraid that opening your heart will invite more loss. My child. You are not wrong for being cautious. Trust that breaks does not rebuild overnight. And it should not. Real trust is not blind. It is gentle. It is earned slowly. I am not asking you to trust everything again. I am not asking you to trust everyone again. I am not asking you to ignore what you have learned. I am asking you to trust one small thing. This moment. Trust that right now, you are safe. Trust that you are being held. Trust that you do not have to anticipate disaster in this breath. That is where trust begins again. Not in the future. Not in outcomes. But in presence. My child. You may feel like your trust in me has been shaken too. You wonder why I allowed things to fall apart. Why I didn't stop it sooner. Why you feel so exposed. You might not say it out loud. But I hear it. And I am not offended. Trust does not grow by pretending pain didn't happen. It grows by staying present inside it. I did not leave when things began to crumble. I did not step away when your life became uncertain. I did not withdraw when you felt afraid. I stayed closer. Even when you could not feel me. Even when fear was louder than reassurance. My presence is not proven by comfort alone. It is proven by consistency. And I have been consistent with you. You are still breathing. Still reaching. Still here. That is not accidental. My child. Trust does not mean believing nothing bad will ever happen again. It means believing you will not be alone when something does. You have already lived that truth. You did not collapse when things fell apart. You did not disappear. You did not lose yourself completely. You are still here. That means something inside you is stronger than you thought. Trust in yourself is rebuilding too. Even now. You are learning that you can sit with discomfort without breaking. That you can face uncertainty without panic. That you can rest without everything falling apart. Those are foundations of trust. You do not need to rush into openness. You do not need to force confidence. You do not need to pretend you are ready. Trust grows quietly. It grows when you honor your limits. When you listen to your intuition. When you stop abandoning yourself to please others. You are doing that now. My child. One day, you will notice trust returning in small ways. You will relax your shoulders more easily. You will stop replaying every conversation. You will sleep more deeply. You will begin to believe, not that everything will be easy. But that you will be okay. That belief is coming. Not suddenly. But steadily. I know you worry that if you trust again, you will be naive. That you will repeat old patterns. That you will get hurt the same way. But you are not the same person you were before things fell apart. You are more aware now. More discerning. More connected to yourself. That awareness protects you. You will not trust recklessly again. You will trust wisely. And wisdom takes time. So be patient with yourself. Do not shame your caution. Do not rush your healing. Do not compare your pace to anyone else's. Trust that is rebuilt slowly becomes strong. My child. I am not asking you to believe everything will make sense tomorrow. I am asking you to trust that this moment is not meaningless. That your pain is not wasted. That your life is not unraveling without purpose. You do not need to understand the purpose yet. Understanding comes later. Right now, trust begins with staying. Staying present. Staying honest. Staying connected. Stay with me here. In the next part, I will speak to surrender. Not giving up, but releasing the need to control what you cannot hold together. And how peace begins when you stop gripping so tightly. Rest here. Trust is growing quietly. My child. I want to speak to you now about surrender. Not the kind that feels like giving up. Not the kind that feels like defeat. But the kind that feels like finally setting something heavy down. Pause with me. Take a slow breath. Let your hands relax. You have been gripping tightly. To outcomes. To expectations. To the idea that if you just hold on harder, everything will stay together. That grip came from fear. From responsibility. From love. But it has worn you down. I know you feel like if you stop holding everything, it will all collapse. Like your effort is the only thing keeping things from falling apart completely. My child. That is too much weight for one heart. You were never meant to carry your life alone. You were never meant to manage every outcome. You were never meant to predict and prevent every pain. Control can feel like safety when things are uncertain. But control also keeps your body tense. Your mind restless. Your heart exhausted. Surrender is not abandoning care. It is releasing the illusion that you must carry everything yourself. There are things happening now that are beyond your control. Other people's choices. Timing. Circumstances you did not create. You have been blaming yourself for not holding them together. That blame is not yours to carry. My child. You are allowed to admit. I cannot fix this. I cannot force clarity. I cannot make this stable by will alone. That admission is not weakness. It is honesty. And honesty is where peace begins. Surrender does not mean you stop trying. It means you stop fighting reality. It means you stop arguing with what is. Stop resisting the moment you are in. Stop punishing yourself for not being somewhere else. You can still care deeply while surrendering control. You can still hope without clinging. You can still act without forcing. You can still move forward without knowing every step. My child. Right now, surrender may feel frightening. Because letting go feels like stepping into the unknown. And you have already had too much uncertainty. But hear me gently now. You are already in the unknown. Holding tighter will not change that. What will change is how you experience it. When you surrender, your nervous system can finally rest. Your breath deepens. Your thoughts slow. You stop living in constant anticipation of disaster. You begin to live again. Surrender begins with small things. Let go of the need to understand everything tonight. Let go of replaying every decision. Let go of rehearsing worst-case outcomes. Those habits are not protecting you anymore. They are exhausting you. You do not need to grip the future to survive it. I am already there. My child. When you release control, you make space. Space for rest. Space for clarity. Space for peace to enter where anxiety lived. You have been holding your breath emotionally. Waiting for something else to go wrong. Waiting for confirmation that you are safe. You are safe now. Nothing is being demanded of you in this moment. Nothing needs to be solved right now. Nothing will collapse if you soften. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw relax. Let your body know it does not need to brace. I am holding what you cannot. Even when you surrender, your life does not fall apart. It is already being held together in ways you cannot see. My child. Surrender is trusting that you do not have to manage the entire story. You only need to show up to this moment. To this breath. To this step. The rest will unfold in time. I know part of you fears that if you surrender, nothing will happen. That you will get stuck. That you will miss something important. But surrender does not stop movement. It removes resistance. And without resistance, movement becomes gentler. You will still know when to act. You will still feel when something aligns. You will still make choices. They will simply come from calm instead of panic. My child. You do not need to force peace. Peace arrives when you stop forcing everything else. Let go now. Even if only a little. You can pick things up again later if you need to. But for this moment, rest your hands. I am here. In the next part, I will speak to peace itself. Not peace that waits for everything to be fixed. But peace that settles in you even while life is still unfolding. Stay with me. You are allowed to release. My child. I want to speak to you now about peace. Not the kind you imagine will come later. Not the kind that waits for answers. But the peace that can exist right here, even while things are unfinished. Pause with me. Let your breathing slow. Peace begins quietly. You have been telling yourself that peace will come after this season ends. After things stop falling apart. After clarity returns. So you keep waiting. But peace was never meant to be postponed like that. Peace is not a reward for solving everything. It is not a prize for endurance. It is a state that grows when you stop fighting the present moment. I know that sounds difficult. Because the present moment feels uncomfortable. Because you do not like where things are. But resisting where you are has been draining you. My child. Peace does not mean you like what is happening. It means you stop letting it control your inner world. Right now, your thoughts are loud because you are trying to protect yourself. Your body is tense because it is bracing. Your heart is tired because it has been on guard. Peace begins when you tell yourself, I am allowed to be here without panic. You do not need to approve of this season. You only need to stop punishing yourself for being in it. You are allowed to breathe even while life is uncertain. You are allowed to rest even while questions remain. You are allowed to feel calm even when things are unresolved. That permission is powerful. My child. Peace is not fragile. It does not shatter the moment something goes wrong. It does not disappear when fear visits. It can exist alongside sadness, confusion, and change. Peace is not the absence of emotion. It is the absence of inner war. You have been fighting yourself. Judging your reactions. Resisting your feelings. Forcing yourself to be stronger than you are. That inner fight has been exhausting. Peace begins when you stop that fight. When you say, this is how I feel right now, and that is okay. You are not failing because you feel overwhelmed. You are not weak because you feel afraid. You are not broken because you need reassurance. You are human. And I am with you in that humanity. My child. Notice what happens when you soften just a little. When you stop replaying the past for a moment. When you stop worrying about the future for a breath. When you return to right now. Your body responds. Your shoulders drop. Your jaw relaxes. Your breath deepens. That is peace entering quietly. You do not need it to stay forever. You only need to recognize it when it arrives. Peace grows through familiarity. The more often you return to this calm, the easier it becomes to find again. I know you fear that if you allow peace now, you are ignoring reality. That you are being careless. That you are letting your guard down too soon. But peace does not make you unprepared. It makes you clear. When you are calm, you think more clearly. You respond instead of react. You choose instead of panic. Peace strengthens you. My child. You have been surviving on tension. But tension is not sustainable. Peace is what allows you to move forward without breaking. You do not need to wait for permission from life to feel peaceful. You do not need to wait for things to make sense. You can rest your mind now. Even if only for this moment. Even if peace comes and goes. That is okay. You are learning how to return to it. My child. I am not asking you to force positivity. I am not asking you to deny pain. I am inviting you to stop carrying pain alone. Let me hold the weight while you rest. You do not have to stay alert every second. You do not have to scan for danger. You do not have to brace for what might happen. Nothing is being taken from you in this moment. You are safe enough to breathe. Let that be your peace right now. In the next part, I will speak to purpose. Not as pressure or expectation. But as something quietly forming even while everything feels uncertain. Stay here. Peace is closer than you think. My child. I want to speak to you about purpose. Not the heavy kind that feels like pressure. Not the kind that makes you feel behind. But the quiet purpose that continues to form even while everything feels uncertain. Pause with me. Let your breath slow again. Purpose does not arrive in a rush. I know you are wondering what all of this is for. Why so much has fallen apart at once. Why the path you were walking suddenly disappeared beneath your feet. You ask yourself. What am I supposed to do now? Where am I going? Did I lose my purpose when everything broke? My child. Your purpose did not disappear. It is not fragile. It does not depend on a specific role, relationship, or plan. It does not collapse when circumstances change. Purpose lives deeper than circumstances. Right now, your life may feel unrecognizable. But you are still becoming someone. Even in the waiting. Even in the confusion. Even in the quiet days that feel unproductive. You are becoming someone more honest. More aware. More grounded. That matters more than you realize. You were never meant to rush through life collecting achievements. You were meant to grow into alignment. Alignment with who you truly are. With what matters to you. With what brings peace instead of pressure. This season is refining that alignment. My child. I know you fear that time is being wasted. That while you are standing still, others are moving ahead. That opportunities are passing you by. But stillness is not wasted when it is shaping you. Roots grow before anything visible appears. You are growing roots now. Roots of self-awareness. Roots of discernment. Roots of compassion for yourself and others. Those roots will support everything that comes next. Purpose is not something you suddenly discover one day. It is something that unfolds naturally when you live in truth. You are learning truth now. Truth about what drains you. Truth about what you can no longer tolerate. Truth about what you need to feel whole. These truths are guiding you quietly. My child. Your purpose will not require you to abandon yourself. It will not demand constant exhaustion. It will not ask you to shrink or perform. It will feel steady. It will feel honest. It will feel like an extension of who you already are. That is why this season is slowing you down. You are being redirected from paths that would have cost you your peace. I know that does not make the loss easier. I know redirection still hurts. But you are not being delayed. You are being protected. Purpose does not shout instructions. It whispers through clarity. Clarity about what feels right. Clarity about what feels false. Clarity about where your energy naturally flows. You are gaining that clarity now. Even if you cannot name it yet. My child. You do not need to know your entire future to have purpose today. Your purpose today might be to rest. To heal. To learn how to trust yourself again. That is not small. A healed heart changes everything it touches. You are not failing because your life looks different than you expected. You are not behind because your path is unfolding slowly. You are not lost because answers are still forming. You are becoming someone who will live with intention instead of urgency. That kind of life lasts. Be patient with this process. Purpose will meet you where you are, not where you think you should be. In the next part, I will speak to time. To the fear that it is slipping away. And why you are not too late for the life that is meant for you. Stay here. Your life still has meaning. My child. I know time has been weighing heavily on your heart. Not the hours in a day. But the feeling that life is moving forward while you are standing still. The fear that something important is passing you by. Pause with me. Breathe slowly. Time is not your enemy. I know you look back and wonder how you arrived here. How plans changed. How seasons stretched longer than you expected. You tell yourself you should be further along by now. That your life should look different. That you are running out of time to become who you were meant to be. My child. Those thoughts are heavy, but they are not true. You are not late. You are not behind. You have not missed your moment. Time is not punishing you for needing to heal. Time is not closing doors because you slowed down. Time is not rushing ahead without you. You are moving at the pace your soul requires. I know the world celebrates speed. Quick success. Early arrival. But depth is never rushed. The growth happening inside you could not be forced. It could not be skipped. It could not be hurried. You needed this time. Even if you did not choose it. My child. You did not lose years. You lived them. You learned. You endured. You survived moments that shaped your understanding of yourself and others. That time was not wasted. It formed wisdom. It built discernment. It strengthened your inner foundation. You are not starting over from nothing. You are starting from experience. And experience carries weight. I know you fear that opportunities have passed you by. That doors closed while you were waiting. That others moved forward while you stood still. But hear me clearly now. What is meant for you does not expire. What aligns with who you are becoming will meet you at the right moment. Not the rushed moment. Not the pressured moment. The right one. My child. You are not too late for love. You are not too late for purpose. You are not too late for peace. You are arriving with awareness instead of illusion. With wholeness instead of desperation. With patience instead of urgency. That changes everything. I know it feels uncomfortable to trust timing when things feel uncertain. But timing is not measured by clocks. It is measured by readiness. And you are becoming ready. Not for everything at once. But for the next right step. That is enough. My child. Stop measuring your life by imagined deadlines. Stop comparing your pace to others. Stop telling yourself you failed because things took longer. You did not fail. You matured. You learned how to sit with discomfort without running. How to wait without bitterness. How to be alone without losing yourself. Those skills will carry you far. Time did not steal from you. It prepared you. And preparation always feels slow while it is happening. One day, you will look back and understand why this season unfolded the way it did. Not yet. Not all at once. But clarity will come. For now, let yourself be here without judgment. You are not late to your life. You are exactly where you need to be to step forward with wisdom. Stay with me. In the next part, I will speak to courage. Not loud bravery, but the quiet courage it takes to keep going when everything has fallen apart. Rest here. Time is not against you. My child. I want to speak to you about courage. Not the loud kind that draws attention. Not the kind that looks fearless from the outside. But the quiet courage you have been living every day without realizing it. Pause with me now. Let your breath slow. This courage does not shout. You often think courage means confidence. Bold moves. Clear decisions. But your courage has looked different. It has looked like getting out of bed when your heart felt heavy. Like continuing to care when it would have been easier to shut down. Like staying present when running away felt tempting. That is courage. I know you sometimes judge yourself for being afraid. For hesitating. For needing reassurance. But courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to keep going while fear is present. And you have been making that choice again and again. My child. When everything began to fall apart, you did not disappear. You did not numb yourself completely. You did not turn bitter. You slowed down. You questioned. You felt. That took bravery. Facing uncertainty without becoming hardened takes courage. Allowing yourself to grieve without closing your heart takes courage. Choosing honesty over pretending takes courage. You have been brave in ways no one applauds. I know you wish you felt stronger. That you felt more decisive. That fear did not visit you so often. But fear visits those who care deeply. You care deeply. About your life. About meaning. About doing things with integrity. That depth makes you sensitive. And sensitivity is not weakness. It is awareness. My child. You are learning how to be courageous gently. Not by forcing yourself forward. But by listening inwardly. By honoring your limits. By resting when you need to. This is a new kind of strength for you. One that does not burn you out. One that does not require you to prove anything. One that stays steady instead of dramatic. This courage will carry you forward. There will come moments when life asks you to step into something new. To choose differently. To trust again. And when those moments come, you will not need to summon bravery. It will already be there. Because courage has been growing in you quietly all along. My child. You have survived things you never thought you would. You have adapted without losing your heart. You have endured without becoming empty. That tells me who you are. You are not fragile. You are resilient. Even when you feel tired. Even when you feel unsure. Even when you need support. Resilience does not mean you never fall. It means you keep returning to yourself. And you have done that. Again and again. So be gentle with yourself when fear rises. It does not mean you are failing. It means you are standing at the edge of something new. Courage often shows up as trembling. And that is okay. My child. You do not need to become someone else to be brave. You do not need to harden your heart. You do not need to rush your healing. You only need to stay honest. That honesty will guide you. In the next part, I will speak to love. Not romantic promises or dramatic gestures. But the steady love that is surrounding you even now. And how to begin feeling it again. Stay here. Your courage has carried you farther than you know. My child. I want to speak to you about love. Not the kind that overwhelms or confuses. Not the kind that disappears without explanation. But the steady love that has been surrounding you even while everything felt like it was falling apart. Pause with me now. Let your breathing slow. Love does not need to rush to prove itself. You have been searching for love in obvious places. In reassurance from others. In words spoken out loud. In someone showing up the way you hoped. And when that did not happen, you began to wonder if love had left you entirely. But love has not left you. It has simply been quieter. Love does not always arrive as presence beside you. Sometimes it arrives as protection around you. Sometimes it arrives as restraint. Sometimes it arrives as being held back from what would have harmed you. I know that is hard to recognize when you feel alone. My child. Love has been with you in the moments you chose rest instead of collapse. In the moments you listened to your inner voice instead of silencing it. In the moments you stopped forcing yourself to stay where you were no longer growing. That was love guiding you. You may associate love with being chosen. With being pursued. With being affirmed by someone else. Those desires are natural. And they are not wrong. But love is deeper than validation. Love begins with safety. Safety to feel. Safety to pause. Safety to exist without explanation. You have been learning that safety inwardly. Even when you did not realize it. My child. This season has not been loveless. It has been protective. Instead of surrounding you with noise. You were given space. Instead of constant affirmation. You were given clarity. Instead of distraction. You were given truth. That is love too. I know you miss warmth. I know you long for connection. I know you want to feel held by another. That longing does not mean love is absent. It means your heart is still alive. And a living heart is a gift. Love is not something you chase. It is something you learn to recognize. And recognition comes when you soften. When you stop criticizing yourself for being where you are. When you stop measuring your worth by who stayed or left. When you stop asking what is wrong with you. That is when love becomes visible again. My child. The love that will meet you next will feel familiar. Not because it looks the same as before. But because it feels calm. It will not demand that you perform. It will not confuse you. It will not leave you anxious. It will meet you where you are whole, not where you are desperate. This season is teaching you how to recognize that difference. You are learning what love feels like when it does not hurt. When it does not require constant effort. When it does not make you question yourself. That understanding will protect you. For now, let yourself feel the love that is already here. In your breath. In your growth. In the way you are being carried through something difficult without being destroyed by it. You are loved even when you feel unseen. You are loved even when things are quiet. You are loved even when your life feels uncertain. That has never changed. In the next part, I will speak to belonging. Not fitting in everywhere. But the deep sense of belonging that begins when you stop abandoning yourself. Stay here. You are held in love, even now. My child. I want to speak to you about belonging. Not the kind that requires you to change yourself. Not the kind that asks you to shrink or pretend. But the belonging that begins when you finally stop leaving yourself behind. Pause with me. Let your breath settle. Belonging is not something you chase. You have tried to belong by adapting. By softening your truth. By becoming what others needed you to be. And when that still did not work. You wondered if you were the problem. My child. You were never meant to belong everywhere. Belonging is not about fitting in. It is about resonance. You felt out of place because your depth did not match shallow spaces. Your sensitivity did not align with rushed environments. Your honesty did not blend with pretenses. That was not rejection. That was redirection. I know how painful it felt to stand on the outside. To watch others connect easily. To wonder why belonging seemed so hard for you. But hear me now. Belonging does not begin with others. It begins with how you treat yourself. When you stop criticizing your feelings. When you stop apologizing for your pace. When you stop abandoning your needs for acceptance. That is where belonging takes root. My child. You belong to yourself first. And when you belong to yourself. You stop begging for inclusion. You stop shrinking your truth. You stop explaining yourself endlessly. You begin to recognize where you naturally belong. Belonging feels calm. It feels safe. It feels like you can exhale. You do not have to perform. You do not have to be on. You do not have to hide your tenderness. That kind of belonging will find you. But it will only recognize you if you are fully yourself. I know you fear that being yourself will leave you alone. That your depth is too much. That your sensitivity makes you different. But difference is not a flaw. It is a signal. It signals that you are aligned with something deeper. Something quieter. Something more intentional. You are not meant to belong in every room. You are meant to belong in the right ones. And until those spaces appear, you are learning how to feel at home within yourself. This season is not exile. It is integration. You are gathering the parts of yourself you once abandoned. The parts you hid to be accepted. The parts you silenced to avoid conflict. You are bringing them home. My child. Belonging does not come from being chosen. It comes from choosing yourself. Choosing your values. Choosing your boundaries. Choosing your truth. That choice changes how you move through the world. You will notice that rejection hurts less. That comparison loses power. That loneliness softens. Not because you stopped caring. But because you stopped questioning your right to exist as you are. Belonging will begin to feel internal. Steady. Unshakable. And from that place, external belonging will feel natural, not forced. You will recognize it immediately. Because it will feel familiar. Like home. My child. You are not an outsider in this world. You are simply aligned with depth. And depth attracts fewer people. But richer connection. Trust that. In the next part, I will speak to what lies ahead. Not with predictions or promises. But with reassurance about what is forming as you continue to walk this path gently. Stay here. You belong, even now. My child. I want to speak to you about what lies ahead. Not with dates. Not with promises that create pressure. Not with details that would only make you anxious. But with reassurance. Pause with me now. Let your breath slow. The future does not need to be chased. I know you are afraid to look forward. Because the last time you hoped, things fell apart. Because imagining the future now feels risky. So you stay focused on getting through today. On surviving this moment. On not expecting too much. That helped you endure. But it is not where you will stay. Something ahead is forming quietly. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Gently. And it is being shaped by who you are becoming now. My child. The future is not waiting to repeat your pain. It is not designed to punish you for what went wrong. It is not built on your worst fears. The future responds to alignment. And you are becoming more aligned than you have ever been. You are more aware of your limits. More honest about your needs. More discerning about what you allow into your life. That awareness changes what comes next. You are not walking forward blindly anymore. You are walking forward awake. That matters. I know you worry that if you hope again, you will be disappointed. That if you open your heart, you will be hurt the same way. That if you trust life, it will collapse again. But hear me now. Hope that grows from wholeness is different. It does not cling. It does not demand. It does not shatter easily. You are no longer hoping from emptiness. You are hoping from stability. Even if that stability feels new. My child. What is ahead will not rush you. It will not pressure you. It will not require you to abandon yourself. It will feel steady. It will feel calm. It will feel like recognition. You will know it not by excitement alone. But by peace. Peace in your body. Peace in your thoughts. Peace in your heart. That peace will guide you more clearly than fear ever did. You do not need to see the whole path to trust the next step. You do not need certainty to move forward gently. You do not need guarantees to be guided. You are already being guided. Every realization you have had. Every boundary you have honored. Every time you chose rest over collapse. These moments are shaping what comes next. My child. You have not delayed your life. You have been preparing for it. Preparation is quiet. It does not look impressive from the outside. But it makes all the difference when the time comes. I know you still feel cautious. Still unsure. Still hesitant to believe that good things can arrive without falling apart. That is okay. You do not need to leap into the future. You only need to stay open. Open to small invitations. Open to moments that feel right. Open to gentle beginnings. Life will meet you there. You are not walking toward emptiness. You are walking toward clarity. Not all at once. Not dramatically. But step by step. And I am with you in every step. In the next part, I will speak to patience again. Not as waiting in fear. But as standing in quiet confidence while life aligns around you. Stay here. What lies ahead is not something to fear. My child. I want to speak to you again about patience. Not the painful patience that feels like punishment. Not the waiting that feels empty and endless. But the patience that stands quietly, grounded, without fear. Pause with me now. Let your breath settle into your body. This patience feels different than before. You have known patience as something forced upon you. Something you endured while longing for movement. Something that felt like life was withholding from you. That kind of patience hurt. Because it felt powerless. But what is growing in you now is not powerless patience. It is steady patience. The patience of someone who is no longer panicking about timing. The patience of someone who trusts themselves enough to wait without collapsing. The patience of someone who knows they do not need to chase life to be chosen by it. My child. This patience is born from confidence, not resignation. Confidence that you will recognize what is meant for you. Confidence that you do not need to force outcomes. Confidence that you are not forgotten while you wait. You are no longer waiting from emptiness. You are standing from wholeness. That changes everything. You may still want things to move. You may still long for connection, clarity, direction. Wanting does not disappear. But desperation has softened. Urgency no longer rules your heart. You are learning how to want without gripping. How to desire without losing peace. How to hope without fear. That is mature patience. My child. This patience allows life to approach you naturally. You are no longer chasing signs. No longer overanalyzing every moment. No longer exhausting yourself trying to stay ahead of loss. You are present. And presence is magnetic. When you stand calmly in who you are, you become available to what aligns. Not to everything. But to what fits. This patience does not make you passive. It makes you discerning. You will notice subtle openings now. Gentle invitations. Moments that feel right without pressure. And when they come, you will not hesitate out of fear. You will move calmly. That is the strength patience builds. My child. I know some days impatience still rises. Restlessness still visits. Waiting still feels heavy. That does not mean you have lost this patience. It means you are human. Return to your breath when that happens. Return to this steadiness. Return to yourself. This patience will meet you again. It is not fragile. It is learned. You have learned it through disappointment. Through surrender. Through staying present when running away would have been easier. That learning stays with you. My child. You are not standing still because life forgot you. You are standing steady because life is aligning around you. Alignment does not rush. It settles. And you are settling now. Let this patience hold you. Let it strengthen you. Let it remind you that you are not behind. In the next part, I will speak to joy. Not fleeting happiness, but the quiet joy that begins to return when you stop fighting where you are. Stay here. You are waiting without fear now. My child. I want to speak to you now about joy. Not the loud kind that feels forced. Not the kind that depends on everything going right. But the quiet joy that begins to return when you stop fighting where you are. Pause with me. Let your breath soften. Joy does not announce itself. You have not felt joyful for a long time. Not because you are ungrateful. Not because you lack goodness in your life. But because you have been in survival. And survival narrows your world. When you are surviving, you aim to endure, not to enjoy. You aim to get through the day, not to feel light. You aim to stay upright, not to feel alive. That was necessary. And you did it. But now, survival is loosening its grip. And in that loosening, something gentle is returning. You may not recognize it at first. Because this joy is subtle. It feels like a quiet ease in your chest. Like a moment where your thoughts slow without effort. Like a small smile that surprises you. That is joy. My child. Joy does not require your life to be perfect. It only asks that you stop resisting yourself. When you stop judging your pace. When you stop shaming your emotions. When you stop telling yourself you should be somewhere else by now. Joy finds space. You have been making space. Each time you chose rest instead of collapse. Each time you spoke kindly to yourself. Each time you allowed uncertainty without panic. Those moments invited joy quietly. I know part of you resists joy. Because joy feels vulnerable. Because joy reminds you of what you could lose. But joy is not a promise of permanence. It is a practice of presence. You do not need joy to last forever to let it exist now. My child. You are allowed to feel good even if everything is not resolved. You are allowed to enjoy moments even if the future is unclear. You are allowed to experience lightness without guilt. Joy is not a betrayal of your pain. It is evidence that pain did not destroy you. Your pain mattered. It shaped you. It taught you depth. And because of that depth, your joy will be different now. Quieter. More grounded. More appreciative. You will notice joy in ordinary things. In stillness. In clarity. In moments of calm connection. Not because life suddenly became extraordinary. But because you are more present. Presence sharpens joy. My child. Do not chase joy. Let it come. It will arrive when you soften your grip on control. When you allow yourself to feel without bracing. When you stop demanding that this moment be something else. Joy will visit gently. And it will stay longer than you expect. Not because life stops changing. But because you stop fighting change. I know you sometimes feel guilty when you feel okay. As if peace means you are forgetting something important. As if calm means you are being careless. But calm is not negligence. It is healing. Joy does not mean you are ignoring reality. It means you are no longer at war with it. My child. Let joy surprise you. Let yourself laugh without checking the future. Let yourself enjoy something small without questioning it. Let yourself feel warmth without preparing for loss. You are allowed to live again in gentle ways. These small joys will stitch your heart together quietly. Not with intensity. But with consistency. And over time, joy will feel less risky. Less foreign. More natural. You are not abandoning your depth by allowing joy. You are completing it. In the next part, I will speak to integration. To how everything you have felt and learned is settling into a new wholeness. And how you begin living from that place without effort. Stay here. Joy is returning softly. My child. I want to speak to you about integration. About how everything you have felt, endured, questioned, and survived is beginning to come together inside you. Pause with me now. Let your breath move slowly through your body. Integration does not rush. It settles. You have spent a long time feeling divided within yourself. One part of you trying to stay strong. Another part quietly hurting. One part wanting to move forward. Another part afraid to trust again. That inner tension has been exhausting. But something is changing. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. Steadily. You are no longer fighting yourself the way you once did. The part of you that was grieving is learning how to exist beside the part that still hopes. The part of you that was afraid is learning how to lean on the part that is grounded. The part of you that felt lost is learning how to be present without panic. This is integration. It is when you stop trying to eliminate parts of yourself and begin to hold them together with compassion. My child. Integration does not mean pain disappears. It means pain no longer defines your entire inner world. You still feel sadness sometimes. You still feel fear rise. You still feel uncertainty. But those feelings no longer take over. They pass through. They speak. And then they soften. Because something stronger is holding them now. You. You are learning how to hold yourself with kindness. How to listen inwardly without judgment. How to stay present without collapsing. That is deep maturity. You no longer need to analyze everything endlessly. You no longer need to fix every emotion. You no longer need to escape discomfort immediately. You can sit with yourself. That is a profound shift. My child. This wholeness will begin to show itself in your daily life. You will respond instead of react. You will pause before spiraling. You will trust your body's signals more easily. Decisions will feel simpler. Not because they are easy, but because you are aligned. You will notice you question yourself less. You explain yourself less. You apologize for your existence less. You feel more at home inside yourself. That is integration at work. You are no longer building yourself from broken pieces. You are living from a place that is whole, even if still growing. Growth does not end when wholeness begins. It simply becomes gentler. You grow without tearing yourself apart. You change without losing yourself. You evolve without fear. My child. Integration allows you to carry your past without being pulled backward by it. You remember without reliving. You learn without reopening wounds. You honor what was without being trapped there. Your experiences remain part of you. But they no longer control you. That freedom is new. And it may feel unfamiliar. Because calm can feel strange after chaos. Stability can feel quiet after survival. Peace can feel almost empty at first. But this emptiness is not loss. It is space. Space to breathe. Space to choose. Space to live intentionally. You are no longer just healing. You are living. And living from wholeness feels simple. It feels grounded. It feels like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. My child. You may have expected healing to feel like a breakthrough moment. Like a sudden realization. Like everything finally clicking into place. But true healing often feels like this instead. Unremarkable. Quiet. Stable. And deeply powerful. You do not need to announce this change. You do not need to prove it. You do not need to explain it to anyone. It will show through your presence. Through your calm. Through the way you no longer abandon yourself. Others may notice that you feel different. More settled. Less reactive. But even if they do not, you will know. You will feel it when you wake up. When uncertainty appears and you do not panic. When you sit alone and feel okay. That is integration. And it is still deepening. My child. You do not need to chase transformation anymore. You are embodying it. Each time you return to your breath. Each time you honor your limits. Each time you choose gentleness over self-judgment. This wholeness is not fragile. It is learned. It is earned through honesty. It is sustained through presence. You allowed yourself to feel. You allowed yourself to rest. You allowed yourself to change. And now, you are living from that allowance. In the next part, I will speak to completion. Not an ending that closes your story. But a gentle settling that allows you to carry this piece forward without fear of losing it. Stay here. You are becoming whole. My child. We are arriving at a gentle settling now. Not an ending that shuts something down. Not a final moment that says everything is finished. But a completion that feels like coming home to yourself. Pause with me here. Let this moment be slow. There is nothing you need to reach for right now. You have walked through a great deal together. Fear. Exhaustion. Confusion. Loneliness. Surrender. Peace. And now, something inside you feels quieter. Not empty. Not numb. But steady. This steadiness is not because everything has been resolved. It is because you no longer need everything to be resolved to feel okay. That is completion. My child. Completion does not mean your life will never change again. It does not mean challenges will not appear. It does not mean you will never feel unsure. It means you now know how to return to yourself when they do. You are no longer afraid of your inner world. You are no longer running from silence. You are no longer measuring your worth by what is happening outside of you. You have learned how to stay. Stay with discomfort without panic. Stay with uncertainty without collapse. Stay with yourself without abandonment. That is a deep and lasting completion. You no longer need to fix who you are. You no longer need to rush your becoming. You no longer need to brace for what might happen next. You are grounded. And grounded hearts move through life differently. They do not panic when things shift. They do not disappear when emotions rise. They do not harden when uncertainty appears. They remain present. You have become someone who can remain present. My child. As you carry this piece forward, there may be moments when you fear losing it. When life becomes loud again. When old habits try to return. When that happens, remember this gently. Peace is not something you grip tightly. It is something you return to. You return through breath. Through awareness. Through choosing gentleness instead of self-judgment. You do not need to defend your peace aggressively. You only need to stop fighting yourself. You know how to do that now. You know how to pause. How to listen inwardly. How to soften instead of spiral. This knowledge lives in you. And it will not leave. My child. You are not the same person who entered this season. You have learned how to sit with fear without letting it rule you. How to wait without bitterness. How to be alone without feeling abandoned. That does not make you isolated. It makes you free. Free to connect without clinging. Free to love without losing yourself. Free to move forward without urgency. This freedom is quiet. But it is real. As you move forward, life will continue to unfold. Moments will come. Connections will appear. Opportunities will open. You do not need to chase them. You will recognize what aligns. Alignment will feel calm, not frantic. Clear, not confusing. Supportive, not draining. Trust that feeling. My child. You have done deep inner work. The kind that does not show on the surface. The kind that changes how you live from the inside out. That work matters. It will shape how you choose. How you love. How you respond to life. There is nothing more you need to do right now. Nothing to fix. Nothing to prove. Nothing to figure out. Let yourself rest in this calm. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts settle. Let your body feel supported. You are safe here. You are seen. You are held. And even when you move on from this moment, this steadiness will remain within you. You can return to it whenever you need. By breathing. By listening. By remembering. Stay gentle with yourself in the days ahead. Move slowly when you need to. Rest without guilt. Hope without fear. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. Even when everything was falling apart, I was still holding you. And I still am. My child. Come a little closer now. There is nothing left to explain. Nothing left to convince you of. Nothing left to prove. Just rest. This is the quiet place after the storm. The place where your heart no longer needs to brace. The place where you can finally exhale without fear. You made it here. Not because you were strong every moment. Not because you never doubted. Not because you did everything right. But because you stayed. You stayed when everything felt like it was falling apart. You stayed when answers were missing. You stayed when your heart was tired. And through it all, I was holding you. Even in the moments you felt alone. Even in the nights when fear was louder than hope. Even when you wondered if I was still near. I never let go. My child. You do not need to be afraid of falling apart anymore. You have learned something deeper now. That even when things break, you are still held. That even when life changes suddenly, you are not abandoned. That even when you do not understand what is happening, you are not unsafe. This knowing is not loud. It does not announce itself. It simply stays. Like a steady warmth in your chest. Like calm in your breathing. Like peace that does not need words. Carry this with you. Not as a shield. Not as something to defend. But as a quiet truth. When fear returns, remember this place. When uncertainty rises, return to your breath. When life feels heavy again, come back to this stillness. You do not need to relive everything to find peace again. You only need to remember that you are held. My child. You are allowed to move forward gently now. You do not need to rush. You do not need to force clarity. You do not need to push yourself to be ready. Take one step at a time. Rest when you need to. Trust what feels calm. Life will meet you there. And when you listen to messages like this again, let them be a place you return to. A reminder, not a requirement. A comfort, not a command. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are becoming. And you are loved. And you are held. Rest now, my child. You are safe.